Today we are making a video on Q4OS 5 Aquarius, and it's a Plasma desktop version. Here is our Q4OS 5 boot menu. First one is to boot in a live mode. This is to fail-safe mode in a live mode, and here are the utilities and some hardware detection tool. Let's go back. This is the sound of the boot menu. It's not from me. It's a sound of a Linux distro. Let's boot it in a live mode by clicking on Q4OS 5 Aquarius Plasma Live. It's going to take a few seconds, so let's wait. It almost took a minute. Here is our pop-up. Display setup, K dialog. You may want to enlarge text and widget size to improve readability. Click OK to run a configuration tool for screen setup and scaling. So let's click on OK. Here is our display settings. Mine is 1920 into 1080 with a 16:9 ratio, and I'm running on a virtual machine with a 40 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM, and with 2 processors. Let's change the display, and let's click on OK. It's again going to take a few seconds. You need to choose your language first. Here are a lot of languages available. I'm choosing English, American. Click on OK, and it's going to set up the language, and again it's going to take a few seconds. Here is our Plasma logo, KDE Plasma logo. I think it should take like 30 to 40 seconds. You can guess it like a maximum of 1 minute for some PCs. It just took me 20 seconds. Here is our welcome screen of Q4OS 5, which is a development version or a testing version, you can call it. Run desktop profiler, install applications, install proprietary codecs, screen selling, set auto login, hardware info. And what we have on more option is documents online and some donation things. Let's close this thing, and let's open the system monitor if it's available. Here we have a system monitor. First thing you need to do is open your system monitor and check how much resources are consumed in the beginning, and you need to check it later again at the end, so you will get an idea of how much resources are consumed. Right now it's 1.1 GB of 4 GB RAM is consumed, and the CPU is running around 20%, under 20%, and you can see is operating system. It says Debian GNU Linux 12 Bookworm, and KDE frameworks version 5.1.103.0, and here are some processes. Let's open applications. Here are the applications, and here is the graph of CPU and RAM. CPU is stable. As you can see, there are a few peak here, a 2 peak, high peak, and other thing is low and stable, almost stable graph. CPU is running around below 20%. That's good. This is internet connection. You don't need to worry about the internet. And here is the RAM, 1.1 GB, and here are the processors. I didn't run any apps, as you can see. These are all the startup apps, or you can say after the launching the apps or launching the Linux distro. These are all apps are running right now, or processors running right now. Let's check the version of system monitor. The version is 5.27.2. Let's open the console, which is also called as terminal. and put in some commands for the distro info. Console version is 22.12.3. Let's type in command inxi-sv8 and hit enter. Here is our info. Host is Q4OS and the kernel is 6.1.0-7 which is 64-bit, and we have a KDE Plasma desktop environment which is 5.27.2, almost the latest version. Just 1 point is less older. The latest version should be like 5.27.3 or 4, I don't know clearly. Qt version is 5.15.8, Kevin VT7, Q4OS 5.0.0 NN, which is a development version, and the base is Debian GNU Linux 12 Bookworm, and I'm running on a VMware, so it's going to show VMware, and BIOS PhenoX version 6.0, and RAM is 3.82 GB. It's almost a 4 GB. I'm using a 4 GB of RAM, and it already consumed 1.1 GB, which is almost 29%. Let's scroll down so we can see anything. These are all the display resolutions available, and this is my monitor resolution. XOR's version is 1.21.1.7. Let's type in some more commands like inxi-b. These are few important things. Mesa 22.3.6, OpenGL version 4.1. Let's inxi version is 3.3.25. Let me type in one more command, inxi-G, hit enter. VMWG-FX version is 2.20.0. Let's type in one more command, which is inxi, and here you have uptime and my processor. Let's type in another command, cat:/etc/issue Debian GNU Linux 12, and let's type in htop. Let's see if it's available. Htop is also pre-installed. Memory is running around 820 MB. CPUs are running around 20 to 30%. There is 100%. I don't know why. CPU is going crazy. No problem. Let's close the terminal, and let me show you how to download the Firefox, not the Firefox, Q4OS in Firefox browser. I launched the Firefox browser. It should take like a maximum of 30 seconds. Let's see how much time it takes. Here are all the pre-installed apps. As you can see, almost the KDE Plasma desktop environment apps will be available, and Q4OS apps are just 1 or 2, 3, or I think they have like 3 apps or 2 apps. Here is our Firefox browser. Let's check the version before going to website. The version is 311. Let's type in Q4OS. This is their official website, or that is the search term you need to search in the search engine. This is the official website. A beta testing version shouldn't be available here, I guess, but they have a news here. Let's click on Q4OS Aquarius testing. This is the version I am testing right now, which is available 27th March. I think this is RC4 or RC5, I guess. These are some info of the Q4OS 5.0 available right here, testing release page. This is the minimum requirements, and here is a file of Q4OS 5 Aquarius. This is a testing version. They mentioned and highlighted with a red light, red color. click on Q4OS Aquarius Plasma. It should take like take to your SourceForge website. The file size is around 1.3 GB. No, it's 1.4 GB. I'm using a VPN, so it's slow for me. It should be downloaded like in 10 minutes if you have a minimum or a medium internet connection, or a normal internet connection if you say. Let's close it and let me show you how to install it. I'm just going to show you the process of installation. I'm not going to install it on my hard disk because it's a beta version, or it's not a beta version, it's still in a testing version. So it's always better to test it on a virtual machine. Don't test it in your work PC or a main PC, because it should have a few bugs. Usually we don't know. Still, I didn't encounter any bugs right now, but everything is running good to me. I don't know how it works after like a few hours. First, you need to choose your language. I'm going to choose my language as an American English. Click on next. Second, you need to choose your location. I'm choosing Los Angeles. You can choose anything you want. There is no specific location you need to choose. You can choose anything you want. And again, it's a common and a normal installation process in like every Linux distro, which is almost same like every Linux distro. The third thing is you need to choose your keyboard layout and keyboard. I'm choosing generic 105, which is automatically choose to mine. Mine is Dell, but it automatically chooses generic always, so I'll go with it. I need to choose my location, not location, language. Mine is English United States. I'm taking the default one. You can choose anything you want, and you can choose your own language. They have almost every languages here. I'm choosing English United States and default one, and click on next. You need to choose your desktop, which is these are the recommended for regular users, and the basic one. They'll give you a description under the desktop you choose. They have 4, like a desktop, basic, live and pure. This is a live one and this is a pure one. You can choose anything you want. I'll choose like a Q4OS desktop, and this is a partition setup. You need to be careful while choosing this because it's going to erase everything. If you choose the erase disk, this will delete everything in your hard disk or SSD. And this is a manual partition. You can do your manual partition like a dual boot. You can dual boot here, but you can do only single boot here. So if you want, you can encrypt by providing the password here. You need to put in your password, and they should be same in both boxes. I don't want to encrypt. So this is a bootloader location. It automatically chooses master boot record. So it's better to go with the automatic. If you don't want, you can do that later. In my opinion, it's better to choose or let it be automatically chosen. If you want, you can do it later. It's up to you. Click on next. You need to put in your username, password, and repeat your password. It should be same. And if you want to choose the administration account password different, you can choose it, or you can put it same by clicking use the same password for the administration account. Just type in our username. You can put in any username if you want. There is no specific or you need to give your actual name. You can do anything you want here. I'm choosing a simple password just because it's a virtual machine. You need to give a strong password if you're using it in a main PC. Again, it's a testing version, so it's better to stay out of it if you're a normal user. But if you want to test, you can test it on a virtual machine, no problem with it. Again, after releasing a stable version, it's better to wait for a few days so they don't have bugs like that. After choosing your username, password, click on next, and here is a summary of what you chose and what you selected in the previous installation steps. As you can see, I choose the Los Angeles, America. language is an American English, and the duets local American English, and the keyboard is generic 105, and the partitions I choose RS disk. And what will happen is here they give a description of what will happen after you press an install button. It will create a new MS-DOS. All these things you can read instead of clicking with next. It's better to read everything before doing anything. I think after this it will you need to click on install. It's going to take a few seconds for installation, and it's going to finish. You need to click on finish and reboot, and you will be having an Q4OS operating system on your hard disk. So this is the process of installation. So let me close it. Let's see some of the desktop features like calendar and time, which is common in KDE Plasma desktop environment, which is actually the same thing. So I think there is no need to explain everything here. You already seen the KDE Plasma 5.27 version. No need to explain that. And this is the default wallpaper. Let's check the wallpapers available for Q4OS. We have a Debian wallpapers because it's based on Debian, and it has a KDE Plasma wallpapers because its desktop environment is KDE Plasma. And about folder view is 3.0, and the shortcuts will be same by pressing Windows key and T. It's not working, no problem. These are all the applications which comes pre-installed, as you can see here. Let me run the Q4OS Software Center. It's going to take a few seconds. These are all the apps comes pre-installed. Just a common KDE Plasma apps. This is a software center for Q4OS. You can install the apps directly from here. You can either search it here on the right side top corner, or you can either scroll down and choose whatever you want. The versions, the installed one will be clicked, or you have a right tick right beside the app name or a software name, and here is the description, and here is the, I think this is the version, I guess. It's not a version, it's a rating. Discover manager, you can uninstall. You need to choose anything you want. Select a full feature desktop, a basic one, minimal, and the desktop environment. You have a lot of desktop environment here like LXQT, XFCE, LXDE, Match, Budgie, Cinnamon, GNOME, and Trinity. Again, this is a bit of lightweight Linux distro in my opinion. Let's run some apps. Let's run K8 editor. On the internet side, we already saw the Firefox browser. These are all the KDE Plasma things. No need to see that. Let's open the file manager. On the system, still we have like a discover. What else we have still here? KDE partition manager. Let's open the partition manager. What we still left here is I think we covered everything, I guess. This is a calculator, and the kfind is to find things. These are all the KDE Plasma apps or softwares you already know. This is the kfind. You can find anything you want across the Linux distro. And the calculator version should be 22.12.3. Let's close it. Partition manager version is same, and the version of the library are same, but KDE will be a description of KDE. Here is our discover. Let's check the file manager version. Again same version, which is 22.12.3. Let's check the Kate editor. Version is also the same. This is a discover. These are all the installed apps. As you can see, I'll scroll it down for you. And these are a few settings. You can change the settings if you want. You can customize anything. And the discover version is 5.27.2 and everything is up to date, so no need to update anything. Let's check the system monitor now. Let's see how much resources are consumed after all apps opened and used. 1.8 GB. I think we were like 1.2 GB or 1.1 GB in the beginning, and at the ending it's like 1.8 GB, around like 700 MB I guess. I don't remember the beginning of the video. It should be like 1.1 GB or 1.2 GB I guess. If you want, you can go back and check in the beginning of the video and ending of the video. You can put it side by side and check how much resources are consumed and how much RAM is consumed. If you want, you can put it in a side by side. So this is the RAM and the CPU is running same exactly under the 20%. CPU is good. These are all the applications history. Here is some big peak here, but it went down after a few seconds I guess. And here is our RAM. Swap is 0.0. Let's close and let me show you. I think that's it. We covered everything, and this part is only for the people who want to watch my content without subscribing. No problem if you don't want to subscribe, it's up to you. I'm not going to force you. If you're already subscribed, no need to watch this step. It's just for the people who don't want to subscribe and watch my content. This is for just you. Just type in youtube.com/9to5linux. This is the URL. If you want to watch my content regularly without subscribing, just type in this URL, or you can type in 9to5linux in your YouTube app in mobile or tab, or you can put it in on a TV. You can search it just 9to5linux in a TV if you have an app. If you don't have an app in anything, just type in youtube.com/9to5linux or /9to5linux, which will take directly to my channel. In a few seconds we will be having our channel. I'm using a VPN, so it's going to take a few seconds. Here is my channel, and if you here for only Linux videos, you can just go to playlist. You can see here Linux, view full playlist. It's going to take a few seconds, and I made around like 1534 videos on various Linux distros. I cover like almost 70 to 80% of every different Linux distros. If you want play all or shuffle, you can do anything you want. You can either search in the search here, search bar beside the YouTube channel. Just type in MX Linux here in my channel. You can put in your favorite search term or your favorite Linux distro here. It will show up videos here. I'll post every latest version of the Linux distro right at the time of the release or announce, so you don't need to wait. Whether it's a beta version or a testing version, I'll make a video on it as soon as it's available. So I mentioned here that I'll post 2 videos daily, so I'm posting daily without missing any day. And this is my timings. You can watch my content at this timing for new videos or a new post here. This is a community. You already know the Latest releases of the info will be available here. I think that's it. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. If you don't want, it's up to you, no problem. Let's close this and end this video. I think that's it for this video. I covered everything, I guess. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.